What's up, and I'm back with another Pokemon Duel video, and today we're back with some more reviews of figures. Obviously the new Pokemon Duel is going really well, I'm enjoying playing it, and we've got a whole bunch of potential new figures that are coming out at some point. We don't know when, so we're going to create our own on this website, dueldb.nl. Have a look at it. We're going to be reviewing 3 figures today. The first one is Typhlosion by Eternatus, the second one is Heatran, also by Eternatus, and the final one is Eternatus by Royal Gaming. So let's get right into it. Okay, so here is the first figure. We have Typhlosion by Eternatus. This has been upgraded. It's an upgraded version of an already existing figure. As you can see, Typhlosion has been in the game. Here is its original wheel. It has an attack called Hot Air, which can burn the opponent. It's got Ember, which does 50 damage. Another Ember that does 50, and then Fire Blast that does 90, so it's not really that strong. And if you have a look at the ability, it gets 1 MP for each, and 10 extra damage for each Pokemon in your PC. So right here, you'll see that Eternatus has buffed that. So instead of just getting 10 damage for each Pokemon on the PC, it's going to get 20. It hits with the Fire Blast now for 100 damage, so it can actually hit for 140, which is not bad for an EX. It's not the best out there, but it's also going to be getting 3 MP at that point. So if it's going to have 3 MP with an attack that does 140 damage, that's pretty good. Obviously, there is a condition on that, and you're not always going to have 2 figures in the PC, but most of the duel you probably will. So it's a great figure. Let's have a look at some of its other moves. Hot Air is the same. It does 28. It has 28 segments of the wheel. Has an 8 miss, which it's less than the original. As you can see here, the original had 2 miss segments. This one only has 1, which will go down to a 4 miss at level 5 or above. Volcano Eruption, which probably should be written Volcanic Eruption, but anyway. If the battle opponent is burned, temporarily exclude it from the duel and move it to the PC after 7 turns. This Pokemon and all adjacent Pokemon are now burned, so that is pretty amazing. That's going to be able to exclude figures for 7 turns. It's kind of similar to that attack that Mega Charizard X, I believe, can do. Except this is it's pretty much, is it the same? No, it's different. It is slightly different. But yeah, it's a really good attack there, and you're going to get exclusions. It's going to be running around 3 MP. Man, is that too strong for an EX though? I don't know. Oh, maybe that's a UX. Maybe not. I like it though. I think Typhlosion was possibly the weakest. Probably not the very weakest EX, but it was one of the worst EXs, and this makes it more than competitive with other EXs. I think this is a great addition, so well done. I approve this figure. I would love to see it in the game. This one we actually can. It doesn't break any copyright infringements, so we totally can put this into the game. One thing though, it says no type. Obviously got to change that to fire type. Just change a couple of the language things on here, and beautiful. Let's move on. The next figure we're looking at is Heatran, another figure that was already in the game. This is an interesting figure. It's looking... Okay, I'm just having a look here. It's a fire type figure, but in here it's being listed as a fairy. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Fairy Steel, I'm assuming that's a mistake. But let's have a look at the original wheel of Heatran. So the original wheel for Heatran had a 150 Iron Head, which is not bad at all. 70 crunches on the sides, Magma Slide, which can burn your opponent and move them 2 steps back, and a really amazing ability, which means even when your entry points are closed, you can pull it out. You can basically attack a figure that's on your entry point, although after that move, if your Heatran doesn't get knocked out, your Heatran will go back to the bench, so you can't actually leave it out there. But, having a look at this figure, I really don't think it needed a buff. I think it was pretty strong, but let's go and have a look at just what Eternatus has come up with here. Magma Slide is now a 36. I don't think it was quite that big. It was only 32 before. So it's gotten larger there. The Iron Head attack is hitting for 160, so it's been upgraded just slightly there. What else? Lava Storm. Lava Storm, what's it do? It burns the adjacent Pokemon. hits for 140, so it's just doing a lot more damage. It's not a huge buff. I think this is fine. I think this is good. Let's have a look though at the effect. I think that's changed. After battle, if this opponent is not knocked, if this Pokemon is burned, all of the Pokemon's white attacks become gold attacks. I think that's too much, to be honest. I think the damage increase is good, but I don't think it needs any more of a buff. I think this figure is great enough as it is. So let's move on. Okay, let's have a look at Eternatus from Royal Gaming. He's put together a figure of Eternatus, who is the Gen 8 Legendary. And just having a quick look at it, it's 1 MP. So it's a bit slow, but for a dragon, that's fine. Because you've got Dragon's Fist. So 1 MP dragons are totally fine. Psychic and Dark, though. This is the bit that threw me, because it should be Dragon and Poison. So I think that's just an error on Royal Gaming's part. Dark Ascent. If you have 1 or more Eternatus on the field, all of your Pokemon do 30 more damage. This ability does not stack. Okay, cool. I like that because getting a couple of dragons, bit of synergy for dragons on the team when you've got the 1 MPs and you've got the Dragon Spear, that works quite well. Let's have a look at the attacks now. So you've got Eternal Beam, which is hitting only for 100. Obviously it can hit for 130 if you've got another Eternatus on the field. During your next turn, your Pokemon do 10 damage. That's the effect. That is not... Let's zoom in a bit so you guys can read this. That is not quite enough, I don't think. I think it needs to do more damage than that. Eternatus, this is only a 4 slice. This is that little one just here. If this Pokemon is knocked out, put it in the Lost Zone. What's the Lost Zone? I'm assuming that's like Exclusion or something for 7 turns. During these 7 turns, all your Dark Pokemon cannot be affected by special conditions or be excluded from the duel. I just don't think it's worth getting your figure excluded, personally. I think that needs to change. Let's have a look. It's got a couple of missed segments. Dynamax Destruction. This Pokemon may gain 7 weight, so you get to choose. If you do, then choose one of your opponent's Pokemon and exclude it for 7 turns. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like this move. This would be something that you would use if you decide to have Eternatus as a goalie. You could probably do this. You probably don't want to give like an attacker 7 weight or something like that. But if you're running Eternatus as a goalie, that would work. And then Poison Powder just poisons your opponent. That's pretty simple. So I think this figure just needs a bit of I think this needs to be Eternal Beam. Eternatus is a really powerful figure. It's a legendary, right? This needs to hit harder. Eternal Beam should hit for at least 150. I would say 150, because then if it's got you've got another Eternatus on the field, it's going to hit for 180. I think that's reasonable for, you know, top level UX. And then Eternamax, I think just get rid of it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I think just maybe make that segment just a dodge, 4 dodge. That way, if it gets burnt or anything, it's not going to lose too much of its wheel. And I think that's how you would... That's the changes I would make to Eternatus as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for putting your figures forward and asking me to review. I had a great time doing that. If you've got any figures yourselves out there that you want reviewed, let me know. I would love to do some more. I am streaming and playing Pokemon Duel a few days a week, usually around the weekend. So if you're into playing Pokemon Duel, let me know. If you've already got the game, definitely come for a duel. If you don't, come and hang out anyway. We're giving away free access to the beta, so you may even get lucky and get it. But yeah, that's going to do it for now. This is Rocket Rob, blasting off again.